Hi, my name is Camilo Gonzalez. I'm here to talk about the impact that a good coach can make in youth sports. I've been coaching for about 5 years already, and I started out. The original reason for me, starting out to be a coach was for me to push my kids to begin their sports career, their future sports career. And like most people, most parents, I started out as a backseat coach, which pretty much obviously coaching from the bench. As soon as I saw the coach, I didn't like the coach that was assigned to my kid, and when I saw him, I thought I could do that, you know, and so I got my first team, and was it a whole different world, because it was difficult, more difficult than I had imagined. And so I got my layers, but once I got the hang of it, it wasn't as difficult as possible as it was originally. I learned that there was plenty of pros and cons to coaching, and then I learned what it meant to be a good coach, and what a coach meant to the community. I learned that coaches are highly needed in sports. Coaches make kids better people, and coaching is a great experience between coaches and kids and the players, while making everlasting memories. Like I mentioned, I have been coaching for about 5 years, maybe a little over 5 years now. And so I've coached a variety of sports, including basketball, baseball, and soccer. I volunteered so that my kids can have a coach who knew what he was doing, or so I thought. Like I said, once I got my team, I was in a little bit over my head, but the only thing that I knew was what I learned from TV. You know, I thought, oh, I could do that, right? I could do that. I could stand around and yell at some kids, right? But like I said, once I got my kids, it was a whole nother field. So the first the first team that I received were 6-year-old kids, and playing basketball. And so, like I said, once I got my team, I took a look at them, and the first thing I noticed was they were like chickens with their heads cut off. They were running all over the place, and needless to say, they had no idea what they were doing. And so, with plenty of time, dedication, and plenty of patience, I was able to bring these kids together and form a decent team of players that can, perform at the same while looking cute in their little uniforms. Um, wow, with this experience, I learned that kids need a good coach that can, bring the kids together and be able to, not only be a productive, strong team, but, to instill the values and the qualities of a good coach, like to make them instill the knowledge that I have learned with them. There was an article that I read that was created by Marilyn Price Mitchell, PhD, and the article is called "Coaching Youth Sports Beyond Winners and Losers." And in this quote, it describes what kind of strong qualities it is that makes a coach, and what kind of impact that they make to the kids. It states, beyond the development of strategies and skills associated with a particular sport, a sports coach can ignite a child's curiosity, teach positive social and team skills, cultivate resilience, promote self-awareness, model integrity, foster resourcefulness, encourage creativity, and nurture empathy. The mark of a good coach, of course, is to be able to band together these group of misfits, stranger kids, and create a team, that can cooperate and work together and, be successful. But, that doesn't take away from the fact that, the main, the side reason for coaches, another reason to have coaches around is that coaches also make kids better people. And so, in my 5 years of coaching, I've had a variety of different kids. I've had shy kids, I've had bullies, and then I've had kids with attitudes who come, eager with their shoes laces, ready to learn. And I had kids who have been timid and shy and scared to get hurt. So, and then also, I've also had kids who are easy to teach and open to learning, while I've had kids who are come off as unteachable because they know the sport, they have their dad who knows the sport, loves the sport. They've seen every basketball game, they've seen every football game, they've seen every soccer, every game whatsoever, you name it, you know. But the idea of being a coach, like I said, is to bring the kids together and to share, you know, our experiences and to be a good role model as well. And and also, you know, bringing the kids together, you know, is a good sign of a effective coach, because, like I said, you bring these kids together so they can cooperate and be productive, not only as players but as, you know, human beings and future adults. According to the article by John O'Sullivan, the article was called "Youth Sports Coaching: Not a Job but a Calling." It describes how the words and the actions of a coach can, you know, impact greatly how the children are currently and how they can be, you know, more productive and, you know, better human beings overall. The quote begins with, "Every time we coach, our words and actions can have a huge impact in the lives of our players, both positively and negatively. We are faced with moments of success and failure, and with calls from officials, both good and bad. Our words and actions in these situations can stick with our players forever." And like I said, I have had many encounters with all my players from different sports, you know, while in the 5 years of coaching youth sports. And so, like I said, I've had all kinds of questions, all kinds of responses from kids, you know, and with that, it is true about that one saying that says that kids say the darndest things. Because, like, I've had kids who come shy and nervous, and they're like, oh, you know, and they arrive to the practices or the games tardy, right? And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, coach, I was late because my mom had to go pick up my dad, and because my dad's car is bad and is messed up and it doesn't work, you know. So also, I've had kids who like I said, have had awkward situations with some kids. But I remember one particular moment in my, you know, coaching career, that I had an awkward moment when I was passing out flyers to the like announcements, right? The announcements to the team, and then I had one encounter with the kid. I'm like, here you go. You know, I noticed I gave a flyer to the kid, and I'm like, oh, here, you know, I saw him come in with two chaperones, right? And I'm like, okay, here you go. Can you give this to your dad? And he looked back at me. He's like, oh, that's not my dad. That's my mom's friend. So awkward moment, right? So anyway, and then I've also had, you know, heartwarming moments with kids who, after a long season, they come up to me. You know, it was a nice, friendly. No matter what the season turned out, we were, you know, winners or losers. They came up to me. Oh, coach, can you pick me up next year? Then I gotta leave it like that. I can't, you know, say anything, of course. Yeah. So, you know. The point, like I said, of coaches is to bring them together, and not only, you know, teach them, but also to have, you know, create memories, fond memories, and, you know, impact them, right? And you know, it's a coach's job to bring the kids together and be like a family, share memories together, and just, you know, enjoy the mutual fondness of the sport that we come together for. According to the same article, from the article that I mentioned earlier by Marilyn Price Mitchell, PhD, titled "Coaching Youth Sports Beyond Winners and Losers," it states, "One of the most positive aspects of coaching youth sports is the ability to develop a caring relationship with individual children and teens. With sports coaches truly care for their athletes, they form a bond between themselves and their team that gives their members a sense of belongingness." So, in conclusion, there are many benefits to being a coach. Being a coach is a tough and delicate job that nobody wants to do. The only thing that people do want are results. And what does results mean? The results mean they want championship teams. But there's a lot that goes into being a coach. There's like I said, there's a lot of elements, but just the fact that you can make a big impact in the future generation is motivation enough to be a coach. So and yeah, of course, you're not going to be the most perfect coach. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to be, sometimes you're going to have flawless seasons or whatever the case may be. But whatever the outcome, the players and the parents are going to deeply appreciate you for taking on the great challenge that, once again, that not that many people can do. And that's the big takeaway, the big perk of being a coach. Just the memories and the bonding and being together and the communication, the family, and all that stuff. Besides, another perk, of being a coach, if you don't mind me asking, stating, is that on some days you might even, receive an extra snack baggie from one of the players. So, thank you.